Today we're looking at some Washington quarters that sold at auction for some good money, and we're going to look at why these coins are selling for these prices. So if you guys are new, feel free to check out all the other coin and collectible videos here on the channel. As always, welcome back to Couch Collectibles. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. Let's just hop into this one. Alright, so starting off first here with a 1953 Washington quarter. Of course, these are 90% silver. Any quarters 1964 and prior are going to be 90% silver. Now, there are some silver that's after that when we look at, certain coins, which we've talked about in some of our other quarter videos here on the channel. Just type in, rare quarters, Couch Collectibles here on YouTube, and you'll find those videos. Or you can just go to my channel, click the little logo icon, and it takes you to my channel. Now, this is a 1953 that's graded at a Mint State 64. The coin grading scale only goes up to 70. This is at a 64. 70 is the best you can get. Now, this also has a double die reverse. So there's doubling taking place here on the back of the coin. Here's a couple images showing you what you should look for with your coin microscopes or coin loops for doubling on the 1953 Denver minted Washington quarter. You want to look for that there on the lettering on the reverse of the coin. So that will give the coin some value, and the grade will give the coin value as well. This quarter ended up selling for over $3,900. Now, had this quarter been in very worn down condition, a very low grade, it wouldn't have sold for that type of money. So keep that in mind. Condition or grade is definitely important. Now, here's a 1953D. It does not have any types of mint errors. The reason that this coin is super valuable is because of its grade. It's graded by PCGS, the coin grading company, at a Mint State 67. So the coin grading scale, like I said, goes up to 70. This is at a 67. Now, if there was thousands of these coins graded at a 67, then it wouldn't be valuable, right? Because it would be very common. But in this case, there's not many at a 67 for this specific coin, and that's why the quarter sold for over $4,700. We'll also see there, if you are not familiar with coins, the mint mark on these coins will be there on the reverse above the R and the word quarter. So right there in the middle on the bottom of the coin there. That's the D mint mark. You will either have no mint mark at all, a D mint mark, or an S mint mark here for the 1953 quarter. Now, we looked at a Mint State 67 just now, sold for over $4,700. This quarter is graded at a Mint State 63 and only sold for around $12. So you're only talking 4 grades lower, and you're going from a $10 coin to a $4,000 coin. So grade population is super important when valuing these coins. Keep that in mind. Now, here is a 1953 D mint mark where it has a D over an inverted D. So that will take place there on the D mint mark, of course. So you really can't see it. As we zoom in here, you might be able to see it, the D over the inverted D. So just make sure you look at the mint marks as well with your coin microscopes. This coin ended up selling for over $490 because of the high grade and the D over inverted D. Now, in 1953, for the D mint mark, they made 56 million of these coins. So again, they are not valuable in terms of how many they made. They're not key dates or rare, based on mintage. But these other things can give them value. Such as this. This is a pretty extreme type of mint error. It's a double strike, with that second strike being 75% off center, graded at a Mint State 63, and this quarter ended up selling for over $1,000. Now, next up is the 1953 proof quarter. So this is different than the regular business strike quarter. The proof quarters, or proof coins in general, are going to be very detailed and much more shinier, have that mirror-like finish. But this quarter is graded at a proof 65, so very good grade. And the coin also has a double die obverse. So there's doubling taking place on the front of the quarter. You want to look for that on the phrase "In God We Trust" there on the lettering, as well as on the date 1953 itself. So make sure you guys use your coin microscopes on those as well. If you guys have any 1953 proof quarters, look for that. Now, this quarter ended up selling for over $250. Now, these next two quarters we'll go through very quickly because it's similar to the D mint mark. However, this is just the no mint mark. So there will not be a mint mark on the reverse of the quarter for these. What makes this coin valuable is the high grade by PCGS at a Mint State 67. This quarter sold for over $3,000. And if we compare that to a Mint State 65, this quarter only sold for around $15. So keep that in mind. There's probably tons of them at a Mint State 65, not many at a 67. Only 2 grades lower, and a significant amount of a difference in value there because of the grade. Pretty risky to grade coins like this. That's even more common when you're grading modern coins. When they're, you know, that close in grade, they can drop in value very quickly based on the grade population. But in some cases, for some coins, you know, a Mint State 65 could make a coin super valuable. It just depends on the coin and the grade population. Now here's a 1953 where the D is over the S mint mark. It is graded at a Mint State 66, so an OMM over mint mark here. Good grade. Here's an example of the D over an S mint mark for the 1953 Washington quarter, so always be on the lookout for that. This coin ended up selling for almost $6,000, over $5,800 for that quarter. Now here is a 1953 Washington quarter design that was struck onto a silver 10-cent planchet. So a Washington quarter design onto a Roosevelt dime planchet. That's why the whole design does not fit on this dime planchet, and this coin sold for over $550. Now we looked at a Washington quarter struck onto a dime planchet. This coin here is super rare here because this is a 1953 S mint mark struck onto a 1953 S Jefferson nickel. You can actually see the design of the reverse of the Jefferson nickel. If we look here to the left of Washington's nose, you'll see the outline of the building on the reverse of the Jefferson nickel. So that is, you know, something that probably, you know, not many people look for, you know. Probably can't see that from a far distance too well. So, you know, inspect your coins very closely. This is a super rare error here. This coin only graded at an AU58, sold for over $2,700. And again, we'll see that S mint mark there on the reverse of the quarter there at the bottom. Now for the no mint mark, they produced over 18 million of those coins, so just keep that in mind. They produced tons of those coins. They're not valuable in terms of how many they made either. Now this is the 1953 proof. We did look at the proof that had the double die obverse, but this here is not a mint error coin. It just has that very, very high grade of a proof 68 deep cameo. So that's where all of the value comes in at, is in that grade, the proof 68. This coin ended up selling for over $11,000. Now here is the 1953 S mint mark. So this coin is not an error coin either. It is graded at a Mint State 67 plus, which is a very, very nice grade. And this coin sold for over $2,500 because of that grade. Now if you compare it to a 1953 S that just has a Mint State 63 grade, this coin only sold for around $10. So keep that in mind when grading these coins. It's going to be super risky. You know, you got to really learn, you know, grades and get familiar with it before you spend a bunch of money on, you know, having tons of coins graded. You don't want to grade certain coins. You know, I could pretty much look at a coin and say, you know, I would take a risk on this and grade it, or I would not grade it at all. Big difference in value there, $2,500 to $10. All right, guys, don't forget to subscribe in the middle. Check out the videos to the left of me, and until tomorrow, I'll see you on the comment section below. This is Couch Collectibles, and this is where I disappear.